Yes, he has. Just sneaks in the front edge.
He was just 9 years old when his life changed forever. One moment he was in a hospital hoping to save his brother's life, and the next, everything was gone. The pain, the guilt, the silence all stayed with him. No one could have guessed that this quiet, broken boy would one day stand at the very top of the golfing world. This is the untold journey of David Duval. David Robert Duval was born in November 1971 in Jacksonville, Florida, into a family centered around golf. His father, Bob, served as a club professional and instructor, while his mother, Diane, carried a free-spirited energy that had once taken her into the college circus. He shared the house with his older brother, Brent, and younger sister, Deirdre. The early years were warm and full of the ordinary joy of family until everything changed with Brent's diagnosis of aplastic anemia, a rare blood disorder that can be fatal if untreated. When doctors confirmed David's marrow was the best match, he stepped forward without hesitation. Surgery followed, the transplant was completed, and for a brief, precious moment, it seemed to work. But then Brent's body began to reject the marrow. His condition worsened. Weeks later, he was gone. David was only 9, but the loss was searing. He ran from the ICU, consumed by the belief that his marrow had somehow killed his brother. The family fractured under the strain. His father left for a time, returning briefly in 1982 to help guide David's golf. But when David turned professional a decade later, his father left again for good. In that gap, David learned to rely on himself. He found his place not in crowded rooms or loud conversations, but in the quiet of a golf course before sunrise. On fog-draped mornings, he could vanish into the game, swing after swing, ball after ball, until the ache inside dulled just enough to get through the day. In those lonely hours, talent sharpened. By 1989, he claimed the U.S. Junior Amateur title. At Georgia Tech, he became a 4-time All-American, 2-time ACC Player of the Year, and the 1993 National Player of the Year. Even as an amateur, he led a PGA Tour event after 3 rounds, a preview of what the golf world was about to witness. He turned professional later that year, joining the PGA Tour in 1995 after 2 seasons on the developmental Nike Tour. The first couple of years tested his patience. He came close many times, with 7 runner-up finishes before finally breaking through in October 1997 at the Michelob Championship. It was as if the gates had opened. He went on to win the following 2 events and capped the year with a victory at the Tour Championship. Those wins moved him to 2nd place on the money list, behind only Tiger Woods, and set the stage for an extraordinary run. 1998 delivered his command. He led the tour in earnings, earned accolades for lowest scoring average, and captured 4 wins that season alone. He had become a force, quiet, relentless, and assured. The following year, 1999, became legendary. In January, Duval shot a 59 in the final round of the Bob Hope Classic, one of the rarest feats in golf, and he did it on Sunday to win the tournament. Then, in March, he captured the Players' Championship, one of the most prestigious titles in the sport. On that very same day, his father, Bob Duval, won on the senior tour. Father and son lifting trophies on the same day was a storybook moment, though for David, it carried a bittersweet edge given their complicated history. That victory pushed him past Tiger Woods into the number 1 spot in the world rankings, a place he held for 15 weeks. The golf world noticed something unique about Duval's dominance in those years. He did not overwhelm with emotion or spectacle. He went about his work with surgical precision, calm eyes behind dark sunglasses, a demeanor that was hard to read. While other players fed on crowds, Duval seemed to draw his strength from shutting the world out. Fans did not always understand him, but fellow competitors respected the intensity he carried inside the ropes. By the summer of 2001, Duval stood at the peak of the golfing mountain. At Royal Lytham and St. Anne's, he claimed the Open Championship, his first and only major. On the final day, with winds whipping off the Irish settee, he delivered a calm, measured 67 to finish 3 strokes clear of the field. In that moment, he had achieved what every golfer dreams of, winning one of the game's great championships. It should have been the start of an even greater chapter. But the body that had carried him so far began to betray him. Back problems flared, forcing changes to his swing. Wrist and shoulder injuries followed. Then came positional vertigo, sudden and violent dizziness that made the simple act of turning his head a challenge, let alone hitting a golf ball under pressure. Some days he could not practice at all. Other days he fought just to finish a round. The results reflected the struggle. His ranking plummeted in 2002 and fell even further in 2003. Though there were flashes of the old magic, like his tied second finish at the 2009 U.S. Open, those moments grew fewer. In 2011, he lost his PGA Tour card entirely. For a man who had once seemed destined to challenge Jack Nicklaus's records, it was a sharp and public fall. David found a second career in broadcasting, joining ESPN and Golf Channel as an analyst. His commentary had weight shaped by victories and scars, delivered with the calm of someone who had lived the highs and lows. In 2022, at age 50, he returned to competitive golf on the PGA Tour Champions, chasing not the glory of his youth, but the simple, pure connection of a well-struck shot. When he reflects on his journey, he does not shy from the pain. He admits Brent's death shaped everything. The way he kept people at arm's length, the way he poured himself into golf, the way success never quite felt complete. I was difficult to know, he has said, a quiet acknowledgement of the walls he built around himself. He also remembers his friendship with Tiger Woods, two young champions pushing each other to greater heights in the late 1990s. They played together, competed fiercely, and shared moments away from the cameras. But as Tiger's dominance grew and David's injuries mounted, their paths diverged. Now they rarely speak, the bond more a memory than a living connection. David Duval's story is a rare blend of triumph and tragedy. It is the portrait of a boy who believed he had cost his brother's life, who found escape and meaning in the game of golf, who rose to #1 in the world, and who saw it all slip away. And yet, through injury, loss, and reinvention, he endures. His life is proof that greatness is not only about the titles you win, but about the storms you survive. In the quiet before dawn, on a course still wrapped in shadows, he stands alone on the tee. The grass is wet, the air is cool, and the swing comes easy. In that moment, he is both the boy in the fog and the man who walked through fire. And for a few heartbeats, there is no past and no future, only the strike of the ball and the peace that follows. If you want to hear more powerful stories like this, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next chapter in the world of sports legends.